Our next activity is a shipping form. This is where the user will enter the details of a company and be able to select the primary shipping address and the billing address as well. So, how we are going to lay out this form is basically it's a flex wrap container. So what will happen here is the outer container will be a flex wrap wherein the items will flow from left to right and top to bottom, and it flows naturally. So our first row, which is the basic information and a set of two check boxes, we will divide the row into two sections, each component occupying one half of the entire width of this particular container. So one half of this will go for the basic information, and the other half will be occupied by these two set of check boxes. On the second row, we will have the same one component, the contact person, and the input type text box here as a group will occupy one half, and the same thing with your phone. On the third line, we have an address line 1, so this time you will have it full, yeah, because addresses are typically long, so we need to occupy the entire row here. So, and the rest, like the shipping details down below, this label some kind of a divider between the basic information and the shipping details. This will also occupy one full row, and the same thing with the last element for the update button and the delete shipping address will also occupy one full row. So the flow of a flex wrap is starting again from the left side, the upper left corner, and flows downwards until the last element. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the program. So we have an initial container here, having a gray background, flexible container, and we wanted all the elements to be justified, to be placed in the center. Let's make the first container as described in the layout I have shown. So that will be, let's have a div class, let's make the size 2/3 of the screen. Put the background color of gray 50, and it's a flex container with the flex wrap direction. Okay, so the form goes here. Right, let's take a look at the output. Okay, so we have a form centered on the screen, but it only occupies the height that is required by this text. The form goes here. So let's go ahead and build the first set, which is the basic information and these two check boxes right here. Okay, so I'm gonna need two containers. And each container will have a width of one half of the screen, one half of the container. And then we have the word here, basic information. Let's make the text color to yellow, and then the text size a little bit large, right? So let's see. Okay, so it looks good at the start. So we have to add a padding out right here so that the form will have the space surrounding all the elements inside. So let me put that here. Padding is equals to 8 for the entire container. Okay, that is good. Next, we add the two check boxes. The same width of one half. Okay, and then two check boxes here. That's an input checkbox. And then let's put an ID so that it's identified. So this is for your shipping. The other one is billing. And the box will come first, and then we have the label for each of those boxes. That is for the shipping ID. The label is set as primary. Okay, let's copy the same. Right, so again, let's check the output. Okay, so we have here the checkbox, however, they are in inline mode, so we need to separate them together. So what we are going to do is to put this one set of components, the checkbox and the label, as one div, and so on with this pair of checkbox and the label. Okay, so let's add a div, and also for your other pair. Right, so now we are done with the first row. Let's move on with adding the second row. Let's move on and add the second row here, comprised of the contact person and the phone. So each of these component, each of this group will have one half of the screen as well. Speed is one half. So the text, and we put an ID, okay, and then of course we need the label for that, which is on top of it. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Okay, so there you have the contact person and the label, the text box rather. Again, we have the same situation as we have here in the primary shipping address. So we have to put these two elements individually in a div so that they will be separated. Okay, and let's add some padding for the label. Maybe padding is equals to 2. Check that. And to make the text box visible, we will add also a background. Maybe a border of 2. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, so this looks better. However, there's a small space here prior to the contact word, and it's not really good, so we have to remove that. Meaning the padding should only be applied on the y-axis, that's on the top and on the bottom. And similarly, if you're going to check this, let's inspect that one. The width of the div that contains these two elements is half of the container. However, the size of our input box is only about 2/3 of it. So we will have to set it as occupying the full size of that particular parent container. So the full size of this one half. So we will do that. So the width of the text box is actually full, and for the padding, we will have to make it on the y-axis only. Okay, and then let's check. Okay, great. So we now have our contact person. The next thing to do is just copy those two elements, that one set of box. So here is that one half of the container. Let me replicate that here, and putting the proper labels. So this should be phone number, and then checking again on the output. Okay, now this looks good now. We see there is no space here, so we need to put some spacing around here. So what we do is, if we put here a margin, if we put a margin outside this box here, this will push the second row to the next line because we already have here 1/2 and 1/2. So now the problem here is there is no space between the contact person and the phone number. And if we examine it further, this entire block here, the highlighted one, is occupying the entire 1/2 of the screen already. And if we are going to put a margin on the right side, that will push the phone number down to the next row. So let's see what is the effect here. So that entire block on the left side is this one, adding a margin of probably 2. Right, so the next element, set of elements on the side, moves to the next row. So you see that margin orange. Is that an orange? That color there, that is an extra space added to the already full capacity of the row. So that is not what we wanted to happen. We would like to put the margin or the padding inside the box, not outside the box. So since the element that is in question here is this text box, we might as well reduce the size of this text box relative to the size of the main container for this particular group of elements. Okay, so let's move the margin to the proper place wherein it is in the text box. So let's copy that one and put it right at the container of the text box. So I'm gonna put here a class and then paste. Okay, so that looks better. So we have to do the same thing with the other element, the phone number. So let's add a class also on the phone number input text box. Okay, next will be the address line 1. So this is one big text box here, which we will put a weight of full. Okay, so we'll just copy. This is already designed. We'll just copy one group of components and put it below it. Change the weight to full, and then change the proper labels. This should be for address 1, and let's see. Great. So great. So it's almost okay. However, I would like to have a bigger space between the text box here and the address line 1. So we might as well add a margin below this one. So you can do that at the margin bottom of the container. This container. Let's add the margin bottom. Sorry. So where is that? Either you put it at the top of the address line box or at the bottom of the contact person box. So we will add a margin bottom of 2 to the contact person box. And that's it. So you continue the same process and then until you arrive at the last part, which is basically the same. Okay, that's it. It's your time to continue it. Enjoy coding.